start with a quick grounding. So if you want to just gently close your eyes and just doing a self check-in, such a powerful practice. Noticing what you notice in your body, just with a curiosity, like you're an observer, you're a scientist just noticing things. You're not criticizing or judging them. You're just observing. And just really taking some nice deep breaths. Hi, Kate. And as always, whatever you're feeling, it just is. It's information. And the more we judge it and try to resist it, the more it stays around, especially if it's not a comfortable feeling. So just bring a sense of acceptance if you can, a sense of curiosity to whatever you're feeling in your body. And then just coming back to the space. And then if you're cool with it, you could drop in the chat how you're feeling. Knowing that feelings are so fleeting, whether they're great feelings or not so great feelings, they're always changing. I'm going to be really transparent. I'm feeling quite a bit of like anxiety and overwhelm in my body. And so even yesterday when I was deciding what to share today, I was like, it's going to be about self-care. And I just didn't exactly know what it was going to be yet. And what I'm really excited to share with you is a practice, and it's a really embodied practice where we come out of our head and into our body. And I want to just premise why I think this is so valuable for anyone, for a few different things. So one, there's a lot of bodies of work on how to get out of our head and out of anxiety and how to feel better mentally. And there's some schools of thought where it's like, we just got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. We got to talk about our problems. We got to figure them out from this cerebral brain place. And then there's some more, I would say like more ancient wisdom is like, you got to get out of the head into the body and shift the frequency that you're vibrating at. And then those problems in your head won't seem so important and everything will just come together. And the solution will appear and you'll feel more at ease and everything will flow. And so it's interesting. There's a new book out called Bad Therapy. It just came out and it's getting a lot of heat. And it's about how we're over therapizing the kids and they're actually more depressed and more anxious than they've ever been in any time in history. And there's so much therapy focused on like their thoughts and all of that. And it's actually not in Western psychology very often to come into the body. But and not saying anything good about therapy. I've seen therapists have given me so much great tools and I've had a lot of help from therapy. So I'm not on one side or the other. But what I do know is a somatic practice where we come into our body, for me, it can like change everything. So there's that piece of it. And then there's the piece about when we're relaxed and we're in our body and we're out of our head, our nervous system gets a chance to calm down. And a calm nervous system allows for greater healing, faster healing, more energy, easier weight release, weight loss that's more sustainable. And so that's the first reason is it helps us come into our body, get out of our head, can be really helpful to just shift a frustrating or not so great feeling. The second reason is when we're relaxed, it's easier to be healthy. And then the third reason, and we're going to actually put a slant on today's practice, which is like really just being in touch with our body and even appreciative of different parts of our bodies, is when we appreciate something, what I've found is it's easier to want to take care of it. So if I'm constantly just like, frustrated with my body, criticizing how it looks, frustrated that it hurts, annoyed about this and that about my body, it's harder to want to like really nurture it and feed it nice foods and get enough rest and prioritize self-care in all the ways I found, at least. But if I'm really taking time to honor and appreciate it, then by default, it's like, oh, it makes more sense. It's just more natural to want to get to bed earlier and drink more water and do these nourishing choices. Is any of this resonating? So let's, enough talking, and let's do it. So what it's going to look like is, I'm not going to say a time because sometimes I just get in the flow, but we're just going to do a 20 or so minute, basically, I would call it a body appreciation practice. So I would invite you to get really comfortable, not so comfortable that you would fall asleep or anything like that, but if you want to turn your camera off, and like you could even go lay down. You don't have to turn your camera off, but just be in a state where you're just really at ease, comfortable, and you can kind of sense your whole body. I would probably lay down, but I think I might just be a little too, I might get too relaxed. So I'm going to sit up so I can speak through this. But basically, we're going to go from our tip of our toes to the top of our head slowly, and just bring some awareness and some appreciation to many body parts and organs. And yeah, it's I'll tell you this, I've done this probably at least 20 times over the last 10 years teaching this stuff, and most people find it quite beautiful and profound and relaxing and lovely, and some people find there's resistance to it. So just, there's no wrong or right, but just try to stay with it, stay in the room. So let's just start with bringing your awareness to your breath, just taking a few deep breaths to help you just ground your energy in through the nose and then out through the nose or mouth. Not forcing anything, but just allowing perhaps the exhale to be a little bit longer than the inhale is supposedly a more relaxing, restful, healing breath than having a really fast exhale. And then just bring some awareness to your toes, wiggling your toes. Perhaps feeling a little bit of appreciation for the fact that they are a major part of our balancing system, grounding us, allowing us to do things with our body, staying upright, having some agility and some balance. And bringing some awareness to the sole of your foot, your insole, the inner edge of your foot. See if you can kind of scrunch up your foot and kind of feel that area, just really being in your body. And then putting some attention on the outer edge of your foot, along the line of your pinky toe to your outer heel. Just putting a little bit of awareness there. Maybe even imagining like you can send your breath all the way down to the outer edge of your foot. And then putting some attention on your heel. Just aware of your heel. And if there's any area that we scanned today that's caused some challenges for you, just let that be there. Maybe there's some noticing there. And maybe instead of frustration about that, we just bring a little bit of love to that area, knowing that love is the highest vibration, emotion, feeling. There's a lot of healing that can happen in the vibration of love compared to when we're in the vibration of frustration. And just bringing some awareness to your ankles, your outer ankle bone, which is actually part of your leg bone, your shin. Just bringing some awareness to your ankles, maybe even moving your feet, pointing, flexing, circling both your feet. Just thinking about that area, your ankles. I just find this joint the most amazing joint because it's so small, but it holds up our entire body basically. And if you've had some injuries there, maybe you've rolled your ankle a few times or 100 times, just bring some love to those ankles. Especially if there's one side that's needing extra love, you can sense that energetically. Just bringing some awareness to your calf, your calves, your calf muscles on both sides. Really, for us to have a powerful stride, our calves must be active and strong, able, have endurance. So just scanning your calves, maybe even saying out loud or in your head, thank you, body. Oops, Sherry. Thank you, body. Thank you, calves. Just continuing, noticing your breath again. Is it long and deep and healing, or is it shortening a little bit? And just bring some length to that breath. Welcome, Sherry. We're doing a body appreciation practice meditation. You want to just get in a comfortable spot and just jump in with us. And just bringing some attention to your shin bones, the front of your lower leg. And just bring just some awareness to that area. Doesn't have to always be gratitude, just noticing it. And then bring your awareness to your knees, these incredible joints. Just scanning them, noticing them. I was thinking as I was preparing this morning, I had an ACL reconstruction. So they took part of my hamstring at the back of my right leg, and then a doctor turned it into a rope-like structure, and then another surgeon inserted it into my knee so that I could have a anterior cruciate ligament replacement so I could have stability forward to back in my knee. So whether you've had any surgeries or things, just bringing a sense of wonder to your body that no matter what, it's so amazing. It can compensate, it can figure out how to work around injuries, it can heal from surgeries. Just bringing some gratitude and amazement and wonder into your knee joints. There's so much going on in that area. There's the patella, the kneecap, just bringing some love to that kneecap and just thinking of the patellar tendon above the kneecap, just putting some love there. Then you've got that anterior cruciate ligament that crosses your knee. You've got the medial collateral ligament that comes on the inside of your knees, keeps you from falling inwards. You've got the lateral collateral ligament that keeps you from falling outwards. So much going on in that knee. The meniscus that cushions your femur from your tibia. Just whether you've had a lot of challenges with your knees and they've taken a lot of wear and tear, or they're feeling awesome, or anywhere in between, just bringing some love to those knees. I think they deserve it. And then just bringing some awareness to your legs. And maybe from a perspective of how amazing they are and what they can do, bringing some gratitude. What can you do because of your legs, your thighs, your strong legs, your quads at the front, your hamstrings at the back. And this is an area where I have shamed my body a lot. I have found a lot to dislike in this area over the years. Since I was about 12 years old, I started shaming my legs, 11, 12. So for me, I'm bringing some, I don't know if the right word's apology, but just some love to my legs. And yeah, just, I'm so sorry how hard I've been to you over the years. So maybe there's somewhere in your body that could use a little tenderness, maybe some acknowledgement on how hard you've been. And of course, we always do the best we can with what we know, and there's no shame in the game. But sometimes just a little bit of a awareness and a love and an apology can go such a long way with our body, because it really just wants to serve us. The inner thighs. Sometimes our society for women especially calls those saddlebags. Just bringing some love to our inner thighs, regardless of how they look. Bringing some awareness to our hamstrings, the back of our thighs. I used to always, this might be a lot graphically to imagine, but I used to hate my thighs so much that I would dream about cutting off parts of my thighs so they could be thinner and smoother. So maybe you've never had that much hate for your body, but just where any area that's in this area, if you have anywhere that you could bring some love and some, maybe even some forgiveness. Maybe you're forgiving it for letting you down too. Maybe you felt like it let you down, some part of your body. It's all in there. And then bringing some awareness to your butt, your bum, your buttocks. Maybe even squeezing it, just, physically moving it to bring awareness there, noticing it. And really try to keep your breath long. See if there's anything there for you to say to your butt. My butt got a lot of criticism, just like my thighs. So saying a little gratitude to my butt and a little bit of a sorry and apology. Bringing in some awareness to the front of your hips. Maybe just sensing where your hip bones are. Your pelvic bones that miraculously expand as you give birth. And just like the knee joint, but maybe even more amazing, just bringing some awareness to your whole pelvic girdle. Thinking about your private parts, your vagina. I know I spent a lot of years being ashamed of that part of my body, and so I disconnected energetically from it. I ignored it. And a lot of stagnant energy occurred there, I would say. And I ended up getting a cervical cancer scare down there. And I can't say for sure, but I believe in my body that when I cut something off and I ignore it and I shame it, eventually it's going to get some stagnation and some problems. So just an invitation anywhere in your body that you've maybe shamed or been annoyed with or criticized or ignored, maybe just bringing some awareness there and letting the energy flow there. Thinking of all those parts, your cervix, which is opening from your uterus, all these parts that we don't learn enough about in school, I don't think. Thinking about your belly. It's pretty amazing if you think about your uterus. It's only about the size of a lemon or even smaller normally, but then when you get pregnant, it gets up to the size of a watermelon. and then it gives birth to new life, and then it shrinks back down to the size of a lemon again. And this all happens without any conscious thought. So just bringing maybe some wonder and excitement and appreciation for your body, all that it's done for you. And if there's any resistance, it's okay. I feel a little bit of resistance, probably because I have been so mean to my body, and kind of feel a bit of, I honestly feel a bit of sadness, which I think is perfect. And I don't think it's just for my own body. I think it's for the collective of women's bodies. A lot of women have been really mean and hard on their bodies because society kind of taught us to be like that. A lot of us. So if there's any sadness or annoyance or frustration or resistance, just let that be there. It's so perfect. It's supposed to be there. And then just thinking about your belly, where your belly button is, and just thinking of really how amazing that area is. All the organs that are in there, the spleen, the stomach, the small intestine that drains out of the stomach, and then the large intestine that takes the more digested food and forms it into stool. And then there's the rectum that releases stool, and there's the liver that cleans your blood, and the gallbladder that releases bile into your stomach so you can digest your food properly. And it all works in this synchronicity without any conscious thought, and just bringing some amazement and gratitude to your body for being such a, I believe, a miracle, how it all can just work. And when it stops working, sometimes I believe that's just because we've neglected it. We haven't given it the right building blocks or love or energy to keep functioning at its potential. We can always restore that with our breath, with our intention, with our love. So just, even if you have been someone who has felt annoyed by the way your belly looks in the mirror, or how your jeans fit, or anything in that regard, that's normal. Just kind of flipping it for the moment to just some amazement and wonder and appreciation, or wherever you can get to. Maybe even just this new awareness. Like, most people never think about how incredibly intricate our bodies are and how much is going on in every moment. So just bringing awareness to that. And I was explaining before we started, Sherry, that I found once I got more aware of my body and brought more appreciation to my body, I started finding it a lot easier to want to take care of it. And so that's part of today's practice. I hope that there's some really, maybe some shift there, that it's like, wow, this body has given me so much and it does so much for me. So I'm excited to give it what it needs to thrive. Instead of it being a chore to be healthy, it's like this exciting privilege. Just an idea. And now let's move some energy, let's move some awareness just up to your rib cage. Thinking about your lungs. And I don't have a whole bunch to say about the lungs, except for they're responsible for bringing oxygen, making the blood oxygen rich, taking in air, allowing us to live, interacting with the heart. And I'm grateful to my lungs because every time I take a deep breath, I feel so much better. It takes me out of my head, into my body. So maybe just bringing some gratitude to your lungs for allowing you the gift of breath, Breath is life. As Kate knows, as a respiratory therapist, if we don't get air, we die. But literally, such an important role. Just breathing into those lobes of your lungs, 2 lobes. Just feeling a sense of just maybe appreciation, wonder, love for your lungs. See how much you can expand them. The average person uses quite little amount of their lung capacity, apparently around 30%, because people are breathing so shallow these days from their stress. They just start to breathe up in their chest only. So let's really take advantage of these amazing lungs and breathe all the way into them. Using our whole diaphragm, diaphragmatic breathing, side to side, front to back, all the way down as deep as you can breathe. Noticing as you exhale how your body sort of just lets go. And then bringing some awareness to your heart. The heart takes in blood that has already circulated through the body and needs to be replenished with healthy red blood cells. So your lungs help with that. And then it pumps out this oxygen-rich blood to your body again. So in and out, in and out, in and out. Every second, every moment, every hour, every day, from the day we're basically around 8 weeks after we're conceived until the day we die. Just bringing some gratitude to that heart. And from a more yogic, energetic perspective, your heart chakra, you can think of it as a bit of a pink energy, or even some people like to use green. Just letting a little bit of a green energy or pink energy, whatever feels good, just let it circle around your heart space and expand out. Expand out beyond your body. This is a fun practice. You can think about expanding it out even beyond the room you're in. Your heart is so powerful. The heart center. And then just bringing some awareness to your throat, maybe some gratitude for your voice, your ability to swallow. The heart chakra in Eastern wisdom is a blue, light blue color. So you could even imagine some light blue color kind of circling around that throat chakra, feeling a sense of gratitude for that. And then just scanning your head, where your brain resides. And feeling a sense of gratitude for the brain that directs all the functions of our body. Gratitude for our eyes that allow us to see, our nose that allows us to smell and taste, our mouth that allows us to speak and taste and swallow, helps. And just now just bringing sort of a general awareness to your body. And just sort of just asking yourself, where could I put a little more love, a little more energy, a little more light, a little more breath? What's one area that would love to have a little more attention? And if you're not getting a clear signal, then just pick something. It's not wrong or right. And just we'll spend the last moment just really breathing into that area. Maybe it's, for me, I'm picking the space behind my eyes. I seem to hold a lot of tension there. Just really breathing. And then I just want to share one more thing before we shift back into our space with our eyes. But I want to, some of you have heard of this, the Ho'oponopono prayer. And this is a prayer of healing. And it's just 4 sentences, very short. And it goes like this: I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And so I just invite you, any part of it that feels good, just for the last minute, maybe there's a part of your body specifically that you could say that to, even just thank you and I love you, if the I'm sorry and please forgive me part doesn't feel true. But just spending kind of the last minute, just going through those, saying I love you to your body, saying thank you to your body, maybe saying I'm sorry to your body, asking for your body's grace and forgiveness. Because our body really has just tried its best all our lives to just keep us alive, keep us in balance. And our body can only do so much if we don't give it the rest and nourishment and love and energy it needs to thrive. And so no shame in the game. No, that's not going to get us anywhere, but just really bringing some love and thank you, and even maybe a little apology to the body if that feels good. Some people really resist that part. So just being kind with yourself. And then whenever you're ready, just maybe take a stretch of your body. Just maybe whatever, rolling your neck. If you were laying down, you come back to seated, rolling your neck a few times. And yeah, welcome back to the space. Just maybe sitting with yourself and just kind of aware, but lightly aware, and just notice how your body feels. And then I just invite you to grab a piece of paper or your journal and just take about 2 minutes and just write down anything that you found, that you noticed about your body, anything that you're grateful to your body for, any part of your body that you think you've been pretty hard on that maybe that could use some I'm sorry. Just writing a few notes for yourself. So whatever you got from that. Could even just write dear body, a little love letter to your body. Or just stay internal with your eyes closed. Take some deep breaths for the next couple minutes. And then I want to just open it up if anyone wants to share any reflections, how's that was for you, any questions about it. And before I do that, just an invitation. So I know Sherry, you came on a little bit late, which is all good. But just a practice like that, where you're in your body and putting awareness on your body, helps us get out of our head. And if we're a really heady person up until now, that might have been really hard for you. And that's, I would say, a good reason to practice more of that type of thing. But I was sharing earlier, Sherry, the level, if we're feeling a lot of anxiety and our thoughts are ruminating and, we're going in circles and it's just getting worse, there's no amount of thinking we could do to figure out a solution from that place. And so for me, when I get in that place, I'm like, done. I'm not going to try to figure this out. I'm going to go sit with myself or go for a walk or do something somatic where I move my body, one or the other, a breath practice, a meditation, or I go out in nature, or I do a workout or something, or yoga, something where I'm like out of my head, in my body. And then afterwards, it's like the whole world opens up and I can feel a different state. I can feel more peace, and then I can actually make a plan. And then the second part of this was just when we're in that embodied body place, aware of our body, in our body, it really reduces our stress and takes some pressure off the nervous system. So that's helpful for health, energy, and weight release. And then the last piece was when we take time to really be in awe, aware, appreciative of something, it's easier to take better care of it. So yeah, just a little invitation to just do more things like this.